Engine 1 from Car 1. Car 1's on scene. Assuming command. Give me a CAN report.
How you all doing tonight? This is Mike Goldstein. Stickers of the CAN report. Nozzle Tov, everybody. I have another great guest. The list just keep coming. The hits are coming. And I have a solid brother on the show tonight. Ben Wilson. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. He's got his Instagram page, F.D.I.R. He does a lot of great training, brings a lot of knowledge to us in the social media world, and he's legit. And I wanted to have him on, talk about who he is, what he does, and talk about his shirts, because he's got amazing shirts. He's got amazing T-shirts, Hawaiian shirts, and all these other things that he does, and I want to talk about it. Ben, thank you for being on the CAN report, my brother.
Oh, I greatly appreciate it, man. I put on my best for you. I mean,
I appreciate you for that.
Hawaiian, man. Fits me good.
I love it. The guns are looking good. The tats are looking good. The Hawaiian shirt is definitely, especially for this, man, I don't know what it is. I am exhausted for this time of season. I hate this whole, coming into winter. It makes me exhausted. So seeing the Hawaiian shirt makes me feel a little more tropical, ups my energy. So I appreciate that.
Very slimming for me too. So that's the main secret of it.
Well, thank you, man. Before we hit the ground running, I always just like to give a shout out to Engine House Designs. He is one of my sponsors. He makes hats. He makes T-shirts. He makes flags, stickers, patches, chore coats, man. You want it, he's got it. So check out Engine House Designs. He is a working firefighter out of Memphis, Tennessee, and he's doing a great job getting gear for all of us, whether it's just your individual business, yourself, or your union or your department. He's got it for you. So check out Engine House Designs, LLC, Engine House Designs, igniting the pride. And also, if you like what's going on, click subscribe. Let me know that I'm doing well. If there's anything you want me to talk about, let me know. I'd be happy to talk about it. If there's someone you want on, or you have yourself a good message and you want to talk about it, let me know as well. I'd love to get you on here. So that being said, we're going to start this program. So Ben Wilson, I'm going to start with your bio here, my friend. So Ben Wilson. All right. Ben Wilson from Culpeper, Virginia, brings 19 years of fire service dedication, including both volunteer and career roles. He currently serves as a fire captain, and he still serves as a volunteer fireman for Culpeper, where it all started. Ben is also the lead instructor and CEO for F.D.I.R Training, a training company he started to simply make the fire service better and to do it right. Ben's passion is contagious. I love that. From sun up to sundown, and even in his sleep, Ben loves the job and everything that comes along with it. And get ready for the fire service. Ben, I appreciate it, dude. I love it. You have a strong message. I think it's great. And you say you just love everything that goes along with it. Getting ready for the fire service, perspective delivered with a smile. That is fantastic. So Ben, let me start off with, what is with F.D.I.R? What does that stand for?
Stands for fucking doing it right.
Love it.
Plain shapes and colors. It started out, I was teaching at my local fire academy, and I'm teaching with these guys. We're having a great time. If you ever have the opportunity to go teach at your fire academy, be career or volunteer, I was assigned to the academy and got a chance to do it. And it was by far one of the best career moves I ever made. Had an absolute blast. But I was teaching, and one of the guys was like, "Hey man, you going to FDI?" And I was like, "Oh dude, I'd love to, but we got the academy going on." They're like, we started talking about FDIC and how great it was, which phenomenal. If you can do it, go to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept going down that rabbit hole. And I was like, "Oh, hang on. We got to teach right now on not talking trash about FDIC." I was like, "I'm not worried about FDIC. I'm worried about FDIR." And they're like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "We're fucking doing it right. So we're doing it right here. And we're going to be doing that." So it grew and grew from there. And then just started picking up training stuff. I was like, man, I really love just spreading messages. Like, I've been blessed with the gift of gab. I'm very entertaining, energetic. And I was like, let me take a shot at this. So started just with a simple video. I was like, "Hey man, I love ladders. Let me take a shot on the ladders." And thank God to my rock of a wife, man. She's just awesome. She's like, "Let's go for it. Just shoot for the stars. You put it up on the internet, you get torn down or whatever gets thrashed, just delete it and we'll move on from there." And it blew up. And I'm very fortunate. I've gotten to meet fantastic people in the fire service and just started growing and growing from there. We LLC'd it, and now we've done hands-on classes, we do lectures, we've done seminars, and just I told the wife, as soon as it's not fun, I just won't do it. And there hasn't been a day when it hasn't been fun. Like, it is an absolute blast, and I enjoy every second of it. And then, just the people you meet. I am just a fireman, shapes and colors fireman. The only thing that changes is the name on our backs, is the geographical area we're in, and you get to meet guys that are ate up with you, and it's fun. Like, you'll go to a conference and, you're just like, man, you think like I think? Yeah, dude. And you're miles apart and just have a full blown conversation. And the only thing that's bringing you guys together is I like fire trucks, you like fire trucks, and you want to be a badass on the fire ground. And there's no negativity, there's no bad anything on that. We're making each other better, and you're in a good environment. And there's no other profession that I could think that does that. Maybe, yeah, there's conferences for other jobs, but dude, ours is way fucking cooler. You know what I mean?
It's, yeah, I love it. You've nailed it all. Like you're 100% right. All of it. Like teaching, I love teaching. When I go to the academy, I'm very blessed to be there. And when I get to teach our recruits, the same thing. And like you said, just going to those conferences and being able to just hang out and talk to a bunch of people who love the job, and whether having a bad experience in life or a good experience in life, it makes you feel like you're not alone anymore. So you're hanging out with people like-minded individuals who just want to get dirty, and whether throwing ladders, flowing water, whatever it might be, but it's just you're all the same, and it's so cool to see that. And I love that you got that name, the F.D.I.R. I think that's legit, and it's definitely it's you, and I love that. And so when you started the fire service career, what was it that you wanted to do? Like, did you have family in it before and it sparked that interest, or did you just like, hey, I just want to try this out?
So hats off to my old man. Like, dude, I grew up just like loving every second of it. My old man was a volley chief, and young age, I'm riding in the front seat of a buggy. We're a small volunteer department. Not burning down the world or anything, but like lights and sirens. Like, dude, I was over the moon, and I just was exposed to it so quickly, and I just kept loving every second of it. Like, other guys would like, I don't know, like insert movie here of what you loved. I had the old like Brothers in Battles like VHS tapes that I'm just burning to the ground watching New York City like go to jobs, and I'm like, yeah, that's the coolest thing ever. Like just every second, and the love of the job just came from my old man. He does this icky stuff. He's a fire marshal and an investigator,
Oh,
which
one of
God
those.
bless those guys, but
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad, I'm like, he's like, look at this. I'm like, Dad, show it to me when it's on fire. But I mean, he definitely, bred it in me, got me on the right track. But the big thing with, starting my career is I got, career job, everything like that. And coming through the door, I'm like, man, I'm finally going to be around a bunch of dudes and girls that want to just talk about fire truck stuff. I
Mhm.
mean, we're going to be fire truck stuff all the day. And, you get through rookie school and everything like that. And, you show up early and you're like, hey, what's up? And, and all of a sudden you're exposed to people that are like, hey man, I'm just here for a paycheck. And you're like, what? But we have the best job in the world. Yeah, man, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And I was, every time the bell went off, I'm running to the rig, I'm setting my gear up, and they're like, hey man, settle down, Junior. It will come in time. It will come in time. You're gonna slow down. And I'm like, well, I don't want ever that to happen. I don't want it to happen. And, I've got almost 19 years or 19 years in the fire service, and I still don't have that. I still don't have that, like, yeah, there's some bullshit runs, like, we're all like, we gotta go on that one again. But still, if the bell goes, I'm sprinting to the truck. I'm not like, flipping tables and stuff like that. Well, if it's in my way. But, like, I'm still running to the rig, and I'm holding on to that passion, and that passion's infectious. And, like, okay, yeah, I had that bad exposure of like, some people like, hey, I'm just here. You're like, all right, cool, man. But as I grew in my fire service, I'm like, well, dude, I can change that attitude in the firehouse. Like as you get rank, as you get seniority, or like even as a rookie, who's gonna yell at the guy for getting quick to the rig?
Hmm.
Like, man, that guy gets too quick to the rig. Now, if you're reckless and dangerous, yes, I can, bite off on that. But if you still got that incentive to go every single time, then no, dude, enjoy it. Like I'm all about it. Like, dude, like, oh, it's just a alarm bell that we've gone to 6 times a day. Still dressing out all the way, line still going on the ground, and I expect you to connect to the plug. or, some type of water source. Like, what? We're 911. Let's play 911. Like, it's the best job ever. The job I've never had issues with. It's the dealing with the people. And that's the big thing that I get through is like, okay, let me try to infect them with, some kind of happiness. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, like I've been called, what is it called? Annoying. I could be annoying, but like I'm still gonna just try to chip away and just be like, dude, this is the best ever. Like negativity is infectious, but positivity is even better. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Dude, positivity will lift you up way more and move guys a whole lot faster.
I love it, man. You are excited, and I love your energy. And you have the background from your father, introducing at a young age, and you're bringing that same passion now. And you started as a volunteer on that department. How long were you a volunteer for before you went to career?
Um, so, dude, I applied for I back in the day coming through, like it was hard to get a firefighter job. I mean, I applied for like, I'm on the East Coast, so like every state I was in it. You had it open, I was going, and I mean, it was wild back in the day. And I mean, you'd show up and it'd be, 1,000 dudes in a room for one spot. And
Yeah.
you're like, woo, hope I get it, and, just traveling and traveling. Uh, I started applying when I was 18. Like, I still to this day I have a stack. I call them the "you suck" letters, just as a remember. Like, hey, good job on the test, but not you. You're like, okay. But I got picked up when I was 21. But volunteering wise, I'm still at the same firehouse. I mean, like, I absolutely love that firehouse. I love the guys there, and it's a blast. Where I work now, fantastic place, great dudes, and it's just you get to grow and develop. So I mean, being exposed to it, and you get to make your own environment, which is phenomenal. You know, you can control what I wear, you can control, what I need to do at this time, but you can't control my attitude.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And guess what? Like I don't know what it is, but I got some screw loose that just allows me to smile, grin and bear it, and do the whole thing. And if I do it with a smile, it gets done a little bit faster.
That's awesome, man. Like, where did you get this energy and love? I mean, I know it came from your dad at one point, but you continue to have that. Um, I mean, it's tough. Like, let's talk about that. Like, this world is tough, right? I write about it a lot. I talk about it a lot. Not even just this world, but in our fire service world, it's difficult. It's like you're doing your videos of training, and you're getting crappy comments on your pages because of either you're not wearing the right gear or you're not showing the right way, or who are you to even train it? You haven't been doing it long enough, or whatever the reason may be, and yet you still stay happy. So how do you keep that positive attitude?
Dude, you just gotta surround yourself with good people. I mean, I surround myself with people that are honest with me, and then also dudes that are just happy. You know what I mean? Like the most honest people are the ones that I care about the most. Like you can have a good friend. You know what I mean? And I show them a video, and they're like, "That was good, buddy." I'm like, you don't have anything for it? They're like, no, that looked great. I want the other guys where it's like, well, hey man, you could do this and do that, and you start a whole blown conversation. I want that honesty. Nothing's worse to me is like when I'm training, when I'm drilling, whatever I may be doing, and I'm like, how was that? And you're like, good. I'm like, just good. Like, I want to know what I can do better. Big thing with me is I'm chasing perfection, but I never want to be perfect. You know what I mean? Perfect means you're done. Like, that's the same thing you say when you're at like, getting a sandwich. You're like, is that good? You're like, perfect. And that means it's done. I never want to be perfect, but I always want to chase perfection. And surrounding yourself with those guys that want to chase perfection is even better. And it's contagious. I mean, I was talking to guys the other day and we were just talking about it. And the realization of the companies that train more and more and more, the guys are always drilling, guys are always PTing together, guys are just always together having some kind of discussion of the fire service or making themselves or the station better, have less issues, less
Mm.
HR problems, less things popping up. These guys have a focus for what we're there for, and it's 1,000 times better. Now the beat down, yeah, it comes, but like, cool, man, dog's gonna bark. You know what I mean? Like, if I feed into that negativity, all you do is grow it. And of course, someone's always gonna have that mindset of they're better. But cool, man, love you. You're doing great, buddy. Little pat on the head, like, cool, man. There's nothing I haven't said to myself in a mirror. Like,
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Absolutely.
hurt. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. And like I said, that group of trust or something like that. If one of those guys says something, okay, maybe I reevaluate and take it down. But until then, dude, go pack sand. I don't care. Like, God bless you. You look great. Hope you don't stub your toe. Well, move on with the day. Like
Love it, dude. So, with your company and with your training, where did you learn a lot of this? So, is this stuff you've learned in the field, or um, like, is there a special topic or a special technique that you usually like to teach more on, or do you try to touch on every area within your training expertise?
so with our training stuff, it's mostly just the basics with a little bit of like stuff I picked up along the way. Like I love the main thing with my videos is I'm trying to start that conversation. So like we're all stuck to devices these days. I mean,
Hmm.
we're all sucked in. So maybe you're sitting at that kitchen table and you're not having that conversation with somebody. But now you see my big goofy ass pop up with, a Lizzo shirt or, a Whitney Houston shirt. And I'm like, What is this dude doing?" And then the conversation starts. Even if you call me a big dum dum in my videos, I still started the conversation in your firehouse. Like,
Yeah.
hopefully you could take it in shape like, "Hey, we're not doing that. That guy has no clue what he's talking about." Okay, well then tell me what you are going to do. Tell me what and I've started that ball rolling. You know what I mean? And hopefully whoever that is, hey man, I saw this. Oh, let's go try that. Or hey, that's dumb. Okay, well, XYZ, what are you gonna do for it? I'm doing this. Hey, can you show me? Cool. I just got you up out of the seat. I got your phone in your pocket, and now you're out in the bays getting dirty, or you're out in the training grounds getting dirty. For me, win for me at the end of the day. And even if I sell to one guy, and I don't want to say sell, but even if I get one guy saying like, "Oh man, this helped me," that's a win for me. It's a win for me. It's a simple, just starting that conversation, dude. That's what it's all been about, and just having your interest in the fire service, because we all get stuck in ruts. We all do. I'm a human being too, of like, "Ugh, what are we gonna do today, dude? I don't know, man. We did this last time. Oh, it's too cold outside." You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you're scrolling on, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, something pops up. And now we just have a conversation like men and women in the fire service and be like, well, what can we do to make this conversation better? We'll get our hands on it. Sweet. I'm making it better. That's all I want to do.
I love it. With the shirts, I love that you're just always having, like you said, like the Whitney Houston t-shirts and Lizzo t-shirts, like you, especially like you bring back like the 80s and 90s with your videos and your shirts. Was that just planned, or did you just be like, you know what, this I already have these shirts, I'm just gonna wear them? Because I love that there's no fire based themed about them, and it's refreshing to see. Just that, I think it was honestly, for me, was the first thing I noticed about your videos, is that I was more drawn into your t-shirt choices than anything else. Where'd that come from?
So I love going to conferences. I love, like I said, I love being a student myself. Like especially with ADHD, man, it's bouncing off
You
the
have
walls
80.
sometimes. No, no, no. I mean, I haven't been diagnosed, but it's probably there. You probably talk to my crew. They're like, yep, yep, 100%. But like if you're teaching something, like say I'm stuck doing forceful entry, I love it. I'll have a blast. But I got brothers over here running saws, and I'm like, all right, set your, what do they do? What are they doing over there? You're like, back to the, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I love being a student, because I get to bounce to every station, but I also love teaching. But the t-shirt started, I would go to conferences, and I got wife, kids, and all that, and they put up a group picture, and my wife's trying to find me. She's like, where's he at? Where's he at? Trying to show the boys where I'm at. And big bald guy with a mustache. There's like six of us. And she's like, that's not him. So I would always wear Hawaiian shirts. And I love Hawaiian shirts. It's because, they look good, aromatic, and like I like Hawaiian shirts. So I'd wear Hawaiian shirts. She was able to find me a whole lot easier. But then on the training ground, like I'd wear a Hawaiian shirt and it would get wrecked, ripping off
Mm.
buttons, getting just destroyed. And then she's like, "Well, you always listen to Whitney Houston. How about I buy you a Whitney Houston shirt?" And I was like, "Dude, I love Whitney Houston. Come on." And it just started growing from there. And I wanted to be me. I wanted to represent me. I wanted to I still wanted to represent the fire service, but I didn't want to represent just like, my volley house, my career department. I wanted to strictly just be like, hey, this is Ben. Here's Ben sharing stuff. If there's a problem, address Ben. Like, yeah, I have my company and all that fun stuff, but here's Ben doing his thing. I just wanted to strip it all and just be like, here we go, man. Here's me doing my thing. And if anything, hopefully you like my shirt.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna wear it on or off duty, like not on duty, but off duty. And this is who I am.
I love it. I think it's refreshing to see. And that's honestly, I've started doing the same thing where I have so many fire themed t-shirts, which is nothing wrong with it, but it's like, I guess in a way you start losing your identity a little bit too. Like when I was a kid, like all I ever wore was Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, and metal t-shirts. Metallica and Megadeth and Pantera, and that's what I grew up with. And then as I gotten older, I'm like, I really wish I kept those shirts. One, they'd be worth a lot of money, but two, that was like who I was. I loved wearing all those t-shirts, and then now I miss them. So I've been finding myself buying more metal t-shirts because that was who I was. And that's where I was the most happy, was listening to music. And, back in the day I had long hair and I missed that too, but it was fun to be able to have my band t-shirt. So same thing, like when I'm going around now, it's just like, you know what, I don't need to identify as a firefighter 24/7. I'm going to wear my band t-shirts or whatever other t-shirt there is, because that's who I am as well. I love music and I love metal, or I love whatever. So I'm going to wear that as well. So I love that you're bringing that back too.
Yeah, man. It's just like, just be yourself. Like, that's the biggest thing I push everybody, man. Like, I love the fire service because, yeah, our job's the same, but dude, you get so many walks of life and it's so awesome. And it's cool to see when we all come together for the same cause of just being like animals on the fire ground. Like, I want, like, not like, we're just reckless, but I'm just guys that are ate up and want to just do better than everybody else. Like, I don't want anybody ever coming in and take my job. I want it to be like, we got our job done. What's next? Oh, you're not doing good? Hey man, put those boys on it. They're about to jump in, you know? And that's all I wanted, you know what I mean? And everybody's quirky and everything, but like, it makes you who you are, which makes the fire service that much better.
Yeah. Yeah. So you absolutely love making it better. And when you do that with your videos and you do that with your crew, and you're also doing that at Key City Fire Conference. So you're doing a presentation there. Is this and it's something different for you, because it's not a hands-on training for you. You're actually doing a lecture. And again, I've been following you for a while, and most of the stuff I see is you doing hands-on stuff. So now you're going to be doing something more classroom based. Tell me about that.
So I've had the luxury of doing this this lecture before. So it's been a real blast, and I had more return on that. Just I got to explain why I'm so happy, and I actually explain how my happiness was actually kind of a bad thing for a little bit. I used to be like, I don't know how it was, in your area growing up in the fire department, but it used to be like, oh, you don't know that, dumbass? Come on, man, why aren't we knowing this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I was trying to be rude. It was I was so obsessed with the fire service that I'm like, why aren't you getting this? Like, I want you to be here, but and it wasn't a good approach. I wasn't having the same return back. You were almost scaring guys away. Like, also too, just addressing negativity. Like, it's so easy to fall into that pit of despair of negativity because we all get into it. And one of the things I address in my class is, don't confuse honesty with negativity. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we can't do that because that guy won't let us do it. Well, is that negativity or is that honesty? You know what I mean? Like, hey, why won't that guy let you do that? Well, we need, they said we can't because of the XYZ. Okay, let me peel back the layers on that. All right, so they said we couldn't do it. Why? Well, we need this, we need coverage. Okay, well, can we get coverage? Well, I haven't checked. Well, bro, just let's see if we can get coverage for them to cover us in our geographical area, and we'll go do this drill. Well, I haven't asked. Okay, what's the worst thing they fucking tell you? No? Cool. Then we'll move on to something else. So I think that, I try to split that up a whole lot. And then negativity, like, you're working with brothers and sisters that will go into, the most horrible calls you ever been in your life without batting an eye, like fire blowing out windows and everything like that, and not even hesitate because they're ready to go. They're ready to make that push and whatever it is. But as soon as we have negativity in the house and you're like, hey, man, can you go talk to XYZ about this? And they're like, I'm like, bro, I just saw you do some badass stuff at a house fire. And I'm just telling you to go talk to that guy. But it's Jimmy. Jimmy's always pissed off. Well, tell him stop.
That's dude, it's so amazing you talk about that because you're absolutely right. Like we can do some scary ass shit, but confrontation is really, really difficult because we're not trained for that, right? We're not trained to deal with the face to face because you have to live with them for another, 20 hours of pissing them off. And that's something that's really difficult to do. Right. My neck of the woods, and when I came up in the fire service, I dealt with it constantly, but nobody ever said anything to that person who was causing a lot of this conflict because they were scared of that confrontation. And I love that you hit on fire service over honesty, or the negativity over honesty, because you're absolutely right. Because that's the hard part right there, is being real. Just like you said before, if you make a shitty video or if your training's crap, you want your guys to be like, your friends to be honest with you. They're not being negative. They're being like, yeah, man, that like really sucked. You blew that one. You missed all these points. That's honesty. They're not being negative. They're like, yeah, you had some really good stuff. Let's work on that more so you can be better at that. But negativity is calling names that goes with the toxic work environments, right? Like the negativity of never having anything good to say about anybody. And you're just trying to crush spirits. You're trying to just crush motivation. Anybody starts to outperform, that negative is going to come in and crush it. But honesty is like, man, you're doing great, but let me show you, you're slacking this part. And I love that you really hit on that because it's so true. And the confrontation, that is difficult for a lot of people. Some people love it, right? Some people just really, really enjoy being confrontational, but I'm not a confrontational guy myself. I'm working on it. And not as being confrontational, but being honest. Like if someone's got a problem with me, I'm trying to be more confrontational about that, if you will. Like I want to approach you not in a negative way, but like in an honest way of being like, hey, well, what is it about me that you don't like? And are they going to be honest or are they going to be negative about it? And I love that. So you said you've done this presentation before?
Yeah, so we actually did an F.D.I.R seminar, and I had the chance to do it, and like I mean I had an absolute blast. Thanks to all the guys that came out. We had to reschedule due to some events, but I mean we still had a good turnout, and it was really good because like I said, I had all the guys. Like so, I have a teaching cadre, and every one of those guys is like one of my best friends, and they're extremely honest. Talking about negativity and everything like that, like just thinking about this in my head, I get sucked in that negativity thing, but then I'll just yell something. I'll be like, say something nice. Just say something nice about what we're talking about. Or you could just totally change that topic. It's
Yeah.
so cool to see that you could change negativity quick. Cause I've been at, kitchen tables and, like we're all there sipping a cup of coffee and they're like, can you believe blah, blah, blah. Hey man, say something nice. They're like, what? I'm like, dude, say something nice. And like the guy next to me, I'm like, say something nice about him. They're like, I'm like, just one thing. That's all right. And they'll be like, he's got nice teeth. I'm like, he does have nice teeth. And you'll hear somebody across the table like, I like his teeth too. And dude, it's that easy of a turn of a page. There's some things that we'll never win on. There's some things that you'll never be able to solve, but you can solve it with happiness. Like straight up kill it with happiness is where I'm at. And that's my whole spiel on this thing. Like some guys, like it blows my mind because like I have in my PowerPoint, my presentation, I have tons of pictures of fires. Like like literally like I should do a class on how to take a picture going down the road. But I'm like, yeah, look at these. And I'm like, hey guys, what if I told you there's guys that could give two shits less about going to a fire?
Yeah.
And everybody's just like, yeah, we know guys like that. And I'm like, well, how do we address them? How do we address them? And if you could give two shits going to a fire, okay, cool, man. But I care about how you're gonna operate on that fire ground. I like the mind is like a crazy thing. I don't want anything in the back of your mind. I want comfort when you come to my firehouse. I want you to be comfortable. I want you looking forward to. If you're already driving in like son of a bitch, like then I'm not gonna have the best you. And then more importantly, the citizens aren't gonna have the best you. So how can we address that now? Let me figure out what you like. It could be something simple as like, hey man, like I'm only here because I'm making money for whatever you want. I want a fancy Corvette. Hey bro, how about this? You take your phone and make your background screen a Corvette. Every time you're bad, like having a bad time, I'm like, yo, look at your Corvette, bro. One more hour closer to that. And they're like, you know what? Cool, man. And maybe they could turn it off, and maybe that's just that dial back that they have. And you're like, cool, man. Now I've got you back in here. Let's just settle down. Say something nice. Say something nice. Okay, cool, man. Let's move on because we're not winning with it. And that's
I love
that's
it.
my big push.
I love that, dude. That's fantastic. And again, I love the fact also that you're doing this class because it means so much to you. Because you easily could do a hands-on class, right? But the fact that you're preaching about being happy, and I think that you hit on too is that if somebody doesn't love the job, so be it. Like, if they don't want to work out, so be it. We don't need to shame people into liking the job. We don't need to shame people into wanting to work out. I was having this conversation with a guy at work the other day, and we are talking about fitness. And him and I both love working out. We're talking about all these things we do at the gym, but there's other people that don't do it. And he was he's a younger kid. He's like, I don't know why people don't like to do it. I'm like, because they don't. They do it because they have to. But if you shame them into doing it, or if you guilt trip them into doing it, they're only giving you that like little 1% because you made them do it or you shamed them into do it. And so if you try to do a group workout with them, it's not going to be fun for them. It's work. They're already at work. In their mindset, right? They're at work. They're not in a place to have fun. They're at work. So now you're going to make them put on gear, or now you're going to make them lift weights or whatever you want to do for that workout session. And that's just more work for them. And they didn't want to do that. They wanted to just chill. But I think if you really like have a great welcoming attitude and be happy and be like, hey man, I'm going to go do a workout or I'm going to throw some ladders. If you want to join me, cool. If not, I'll just be outside. We're dudes, we're alphas, like curiosity is going to kill the cat. Eventually that naysayer is going to go out into the bay and want to see what you're doing. And eventually you might say, you're doing that wrong. Let me show you. But you got hands on it and now you're doing it.
That's 100% it, man. Like, I don't care. Like, a lot of people, like, we've made this stigma in the fire department, and I'm sure there's guys out there, but there's nobody, I mean, at least in my area, and I get to travel the country where you have that super, super, super like evil person, like I'm not doing any of that. And I've come close to that, but they never want to be by themselves all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like they might exclude themselves. They might go hide away in a bunk. They might go hide away in an office. They might be having their book in a manual or in the phone. But at the end of the day, like if you got all the guys together, boys and girls together, we're doing something, they're good. They're going to show up. There's some kind of, magnet that just, I call it the magnet of positivity because like straight up, if I go out in the bays and or even if I'm not in the bays, if I hear a guy out in the bays and I just hear a chirp of a pass alarm, like you hear somebody cracking on a cylinder, getting a mask up drill, I'm like, oh, like that warms my heart. And of course, after a while, you're like, what is that guy? What is it? What are they doing out there? One guy will come out, then another guy will come out. And then you start making friendly competition with it. Like, hey, man, I bet I can mask up faster than you. Oh, yeah. And then, like, okay, maybe I can mask up faster than you, but your boy's built for lifting weights. I ain't much on speed. I'll get one of those, like, a dude that might be slower on masking up. I'll be like, all right, man, we're going to run for this one. So that dude will, take off running. I'll run with them, but they'll beat me on the mask up time because I'm like, how? Like, I still got a good time, but like now that guy's like, man, now I got it. And then you get the other guy, you're like, oh, I'm not touching that. Okay, bro. Well, here, can you hold the clock? Can you hold the timer for me? And dude, you just them holding the timer, like they feel like they got control, and all of a sudden they're pressing the button. They're like, "Oh, they totally smoked you! Oh, you got that!" And now I've got everybody together,
Right.
and just that little snippet of time, win. I've got the whole crew together. We're all training, even though some people aren't participating. They are, like you get that crunchy old driver. It's like, I don't gotta put on my mask. I'm pulling levers. Okay, bro. Well, at least you can watch and tell us what we're messing up on. So if you're standing in the front yard and I take off to go do a 360 and you see that nozzleman just like, whoa, you can go up there and be like, hey bro, your ear's showing, your skin's showing. That's a win. That is a win. We're not, leaps and bounds, but hey, a little win here, a little win here, I'm taking it. And
Love it.
dude, everybody's happy. Conversation in the firehouse, friendly competition. Dude, everybody loves a little bit of that little taste of just spice back and forth. But it's got to be friendly and it's got to be love.
Yeah. Dude, absolutely. I can love your attitude. You're a fantastic dude. And life is, like you said too, it's a lot easier to be happy. It honestly takes way more work to be angry and to be unhappy. It's actually like because I was that person in my previous department. I was an angry, bitter, jaded person for things that went on in my place, and it took more effort to be angry, to be bitter, to be jaded. And I mean, I felt sick. I had headaches. I gained weight. I didn't want to work out anymore. Like, well, that was obviously depression as well, but it took so much to be angry at everybody else. And all of a sudden, like moving to a new department, man, I felt happy. And so people ask me the same question: why are you smiling all the time? Why are you happy? What do I have to be angry about? Like, life's good right now, man. Like, I'm okay. So being happy is so much more beneficial to your health as well. Like I talk about it like a lot because again, stress and depression lowers your T levels, especially for dudes. You're dropping your testosterone levels, your libido goes down, your energy goes down. But man, when you're happy, that literally just comes naturally, and you're healthy. You want to do things, you want to lift weights, you want to hang out with people, and it doesn't take that energy. So I love that attitude, Ben. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'll be there. I'm going to say, I'm sorry I'm going to miss it, but I will be there. So I'm looking forward to seeing that presentation. I'm very excited about that. So with training, we're going back to, again, we were just talking about that in the lobby. You really like, and I like the same product, and it's the Hasty Strap. And we were talking a bit about that. So tell me what you like about using that, because it is still so new and cutting edge, if you will. Like some people really hate it and some people really love it. And what do you like about it?
So I was very fortunate. I got to talk to Hank Henline. Great guy, man. Hit him up if you got questions. Runs the Hasty Rescue Strap and all that fun stuff. So we found out like you got the salt dogs that are famous for not wearing the waist straps. We've got nobody's the same shape and size, and that was a big push for us. Is we're finding like we've got dudes that are easily over 6 foot,
Mhm.
brushing 300, and it's not because they're unhealthy. There's giants. You know what I mean? They're built different. I'm shaped like a mini fridge, um, and it doing the rock harness and all that stuff was a very hard conversion for some of our smaller people. And it's I was a part of I'm still am a part of our RIT cadre for work, and we review stuff, and I'm big on teaching, getting our hands on stuff, and we found out that with a bigger person it was a lot harder.
Mhm.
We were finding that, if we were doing our normal assessment and everything like that and converting with a rock harness, we were pushing, about 40 seconds to a minute getting that guy packaged up. And Hank actually had sent me a Hasty Rescue Strap. And I was like, you know what? Like, I use this. Let me see what these guys can do. And I gave it to a newer crew, and they went from, it took them about a minute to get a, bigger set guy packaged. And they went down to about 20 seconds. 20
Wow.
seconds they were moving, and it's just it's very shapes and colors. That's my favorite thing about it. And then of course with Hasty Rescue Strap, with what those guys do is if you buy them their big product, they'll come out and do a train the trainer.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fantastic. And the presentation is great, and they give you everything. That's got ratings. It's got the what their capacity on it is, and they've done it, and they want you to learn how to do it to use their product. And they're not saying hey, we're the best strap there is. There's no other strap out there. They're like, no, hey, we've learned, we've got this experience from it. Like just them admitting with their carabiners when they first started their locking carabiners, like, we're not going to that anymore. We're going to non-locking with a wider mouth so we get it on shoulder straps. And I'm like, dude, what? Why not? And their big push is if you use their strap and it's on a rescue, on a fire ground or something like that, and you damage it or you had to cut it off with somebody or whatever it is, they replace it. No questions asked. They're going to ask for like a little bit of write up. Hey man, how'd it go? What did you do? All this fun stuff. And I'm like, what's not, what can you not like? And if you have questions for the dude, you could hit him up and just I love that they've tested everything and everything's good backing. So when I went forward to our chiefs and our committees, hey, I'd like to buy this. I'm very fortunate that all our RIT packs in the county I work in have those. So
Nice.
straight up, like, you might have a strong company here, you might have a strong company there, but then we got that, one company that we all know. Every fire department's got them. You're like, I hope they don't come get me. But now I can take one guy with that strap because we did, department training and they boom, boom, pull it tight. And now you got handles for it, money all day. And now I've got a lift point and the lift points are rated. But great, great piece of equipment, great dudes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with it. Is when I met Hank, I met him at I met him a while ago, but I also got to meet him at Dadgum. I'm sorry, Bears of the Oath and Fire Conference, and he was showing off some things with a hasty strap. And when I first saw him introduce that, I was like, wow, this just kind of it just clicked with me. I'm like, this makes sense. It's logical. And I learned about the pickoff straps in Dadgum Fire Conference, and that blew my mind just using a simple pickoff strap. And I thought to myself, why aren't we training on this? Why aren't we doing this on a regular basis? And then lo and behold, there's, a little while later, like a year or so later, Hank came out with the hasty straps. Like, holy shit, like mind blown. Like that just totally makes sense. And I absolutely love training on it. I love using it. I love promoting it as much as I can. And again, there's no kickback for me. I don't get anything off of this. When I believe in something and I know it's going to be good for us in the field, I'm going to promote the hell of it. I'm going to say, hey, guys, try it. And that's, I think, the hardest part is people will crap over something that is new and they think it's gimmicky or it won't work. And they've never tried it. And yeah, I mean, get the product and, try it out, make it fail if you want to make it fail. Like try for it to not work for you and then shit all over it if it doesn't work for you. Right. Like, it's just like, it drives me crazy when I see people like have all these negative reviews on something they've never put their hands on. They just automatically not going to work. It's taking too long. It'd be faster to drag them out, or what's wrong with the DRD. And that's usually when I see about people asking about the DRD. It's usually people who haven't really done their homework yet on the DRD stuff. So,
Yeah.
then that's really key too. Is that when we do these videos and you put your hands on these products and you show these products, you're going to have those naysayers and immediately come up with some of that stuff. People out there, do your homework. Like, we are reading up on the material. We are studying. And if the DRD was that great and if it worked, we would promote it and use it and talk about it. But it doesn't work for us. It's actually, it's got a lot of fails in it. So do your homework. For anybody who's out there listening or watching, I'm not a master of anything, but I do like to read up on stuff. Same thing with Ben, same thing with Hank, same thing with majority of people out there who really do love this job. Read up on the reports, read up on why some things don't work, and then make your educated statement. Just don't say, use this. And we're not saying just use the hasty strap, but put your hands on it or ask questions, read up on the material. With the hasty strap, you're training on it. Now, do you also use that in your trainings as well when you're going out on the road?
I'll carry it. It all depends on what we're doing. We just found out like the big thing. I mean, it's been a hot discussion. Is getting an unconscious victim upstairs.
Mm.
And of course, people have got webbing tricks and stuff like that. And like we've been looking and looking. I forget the company, man, and I feel bad because he's gonna want to choke me out. But like, I've got a buddy right now that's making with his guys. They're making a strap for victim rescue, and we were messing around, and I found out a way with the hasty rescue strap to get an unconscious victim, not a down firefighter, but an unconscious victim upstairs. Like we've got dirty drags. I know how to get you out of a bed. I know how to get you downstairs. I know how to push you out a window. But a basement with, only interior access or a basement with a walk up, like how the fuck I get you upstairs? You know what I mean? And everybody's like, well, we would just carry them. I'm like, cool. The average American weighs about 200 pounds, and where I'm from, we like gravy, so they weigh about 250. And I'm like, how are we carrying them upstairs? And everybody's like, and like, of course, they got webbing tricks and stuff like that, and just messing with the hasty rescue strap. I was able to just, clip in the front of them, tighten it up, and you send the two handles between somebody's legs and you lock your arms, and I got you in a basket and we're able to move. And there's other stuff that could do stuff like Anderson Rescue Strap is fantastic.
Love those.
Those dudes are phenomenal. They absolutely kill it. Great dudes. And there's some moves with that, but it was in my pocket. But when we're doing RIT stuff, that hasty rescue strap, money. I love it. And it's simple. Like I can go outside and like we're about to do a RIT drill and talk to a brand new guy for 2 seconds and be like, hey man, clip this to a shoulder strap, start at your top, work your way down, go in between the legs, clip on the other shoulder strap, tighten up. You got it's 2 feet of both handles and we're money. And they're like, okay. And you're in a high stress environment and everything like that. You're like, you got it, bro. And they're like, yeah. Instead of shove, like, of course, you got to give shapes and colors. If we didn't have the strap, shoving the leg up, moving a pack down, converting straps. I don't need to do that, man. Smack, smack, boom, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
And I can send you out a window instead of being like, I hope that buckle snapped all the way. I hope they didn't get something jammed up in there. And all of a sudden you got a waist strap unsnapping as you send a guy out a window.
Right. And that's a key element right there, is that those buckles were not made for that. It was something that came out of a necessity. The packs weren't made to be under your crotch and have 300 pounds sitting on it. And, now there's Steve Orzini from Copper State. He posted a video of it, and it's been some knowledge for a bit now of, you can take, if you could watch it, you put enough stress on it and you just hit the back of it, it's going to come apart. Granted, not a lot of things are going to be hitting it, but like I always, like when I'm teaching, the heat of the moment and it's dark out and you accidentally flip that buckle upside down and you're trying to lift them out of a house and something hits it, well, yeah, it's going to fail. And again, you look up on all the material for those manufacturers, they don't recommend using that as a harness, maybe for dragging, but not for vertical lift. So I love that there's other ideas out there. And again, in the fire service, everything's always changing. It's fluid. We should be looking at different ways to do it. We shouldn't be comfortable with the way we've always done it. We should be looking at new ways to make our job safer and easier, more efficient for us to actually get ourselves, victims, or whatever we need out of a bad environment. So my hat's off to Hank, my hat's off to ARS and the fast boards as well. It's innovative, same thing with the head nozzles. It's innovative. It's just something new, refreshing. We should be welcoming these ideas. And I know some people always think of them as gimmicks, but you have to test them. That's what, yes, you should be testing these things out. And if they work and you put them through strenuous tests and you still at the end of the day go, man, this thing still friggin' works. Well, let's invest in it. Let's do that, right? Like, just put your hands on them, test them like you're doing your trainings. You're trying to see if they're going to fail, looking for the weak spots, and you're killing it. So yeah, absolutely. Get your hands on them and start doing that cool stuff. I like as you were talking, I was also looking at your Instagram page as well. And I'm going to play we're going to share this here. So if anyone's ever interested, you can F.D.I.R on Instagram, on Facebook. Are you on TikTok as well, or you just do Instagram?
Nah, I'm only on Instagram.
Okay. Only on
That's it.
Instagram. Okay.
And you could find me on Facebook, but I just wanted to do one Instagram page, and that was pretty much it. And just absolutely loved it.
And here you are right here.
About using our RIT pack now. We've talked about assessing the firefighter. Now we'll talk about connecting with our RIT pack. I've got a Scott Pack 3, RIT Pack 3, and just knowing our connections. So we know the ball is going to be my low pressure side. It's got my face piece, my EBSS, and then my T is going to be my high pressure side, which has a T of my cylinder, can turn it on, turn it off, and also has got my UAC line. For this video, we're going to be utilizing the UAC. This is probably going to be our, 9 times out of 10, but you never know, kind of move, because usually it's a low air problem, and then we can build on that. But for this video, it's a low air problem, you're going to be connecting with that. So, talking about the RIT bag guy, I'm going to have this in configuration where it's mine. If I ever assign somebody to the RIT bag, this is all they're carrying. So, they have the RIT bag. Our other guy is already assessed with the down firefighter. He's got him up like we were talking about earlier. He's figured out that, okay, he's got a low air problem.
So I love that. It's simple stuff. It's stuff that we already know, right? And what I love about your videos is that they are, they're very, very easy for anybody who's looking for good, solid information. But they're quick too. It's like RJ from Capital Fire Training, right? This is Capital Fire Quick Tips. It's
Great
legitimately
stuff.
the same thing, right? It's great stuff. It's great information. It's at your fingertips. It's very quick and easy to follow. And again, it's not groundbreaking, earth-shattering information. It's stuff that usually people already know, but maybe need a refresher on, or maybe something they didn't know. And I love that you're doing it. I love that you're spreading that knowledge and making it easy for people, especially for the younger crowd, to be honest with you. When I was at the academy the other day, and we had a great day of flowing water, and I had a wonderful moment where I could actually break things down. They were not struggling, but they were really hungry for information. They really needed more knowledge. And I asked the lead instructor, like, hey, can I have like a block of time just to show them a little more extra techniques that I've learned? And he allowed it, and it was great. I really appreciate him for doing that. And I had that whole block. They went to my section, and we just laid down the basics. Man, they were so appreciative of it, but they're like, where can I find more information? So that's, here it is. Or if you follow my pages, I have pages like F.D.I.R and Dadgum and Capital Fire Train, all these guys that I really appreciate and that are motivating me. If you can see them now. So it's great that you're doing that, man. I love that knowledge is being shared to everybody.
Well, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, man. Like back when I went through, fire school, even though it wasn't terribly long ago, but like 2007, 2008, I can't quite remember. But like we were just starting to dabble in technology, but the only information I got was from a book,
Mhm.
and I'm like, all right. And whatever that book told me, that was it.
Yeah.
Now, like the world is your oyster, man. You can get on your phone and figure out stuff like that. And everybody gives this generation, like, oh, they just don't understand. I was like, no, you just got to explain more. It's that opportunity. The why, and we want to ask why. I love it. If you want to talk about fire stuff, dude, come over here. Let's talk about it because I want to know every single thing of that justification. Like even water stuff. Like I was very fortunate. I got to teach with the Backstep. Great dudes. Went down to Georgia, taught with them. They're starting up a training page, the Backstep Training. Follow them, check them out. But we were down there, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, "Hey, man, do you guys understand fire behavior?" Everybody's like, "Yeah, I understand. Ignition, growth, fully developed. Flash over, all that fun stuff." I was like, "How about this? Let's say my bottle of water right here catches on fire at 500 degrees." They're like, "Okay." I'm like, "How hot is the flame coming off my bottle of water?" And everybody's like, the group got real quiet. And I'm like, "Oh, well, come on, man. We thought we were confident in this." And I was like, hey, let me tell you, this bottle of water has practically flashed. So it's not 500 degrees. I used to think that. With that theory, it's got 500-degree flame. And let's say my shirt catches on fire at 600, it would never catch on fire, right? The flame coming off of this, like even on a candle, is 1200 plus. And they're like, oh. I was like, that's why we're teaching open bales, right? Open
Mhm.
bales, air entrainment, water flow. Hey, man, how much water are you flowing? Oh, I'm flowing, at my firehouse 150 a minute. Okay, bro. Let's break that down a little bit more. How much are you flowing per second, hypothetically? And they're like, ugh. And I'm like, all right, I know. I'm a nerd. 150 divided by 60 is 2.5. And they're like, 2.5. I was like, all right, I want you to think about this. Every 10 seconds, flowing a nozzle 10 seconds, you're going to do a lot of damage, but you're knocking stuff back. You're flowing 25 gallons. All right. How many times can we do that on a, 750 pump? And I'd have to do the math, but I think it's like 30 times or something. My math might be incredibly wrong. You could check me later. But we no longer have that stigma in our head of like, I've only got 5 minutes, only got 5 minutes. Well, dude, if I do 10-second burst, working my nozzle, getting moved and everything like that, okay, 10 seconds here, 25 gallons. I'm only chipping away a little bit. And now we've gotten into that why. Hey, why are you doing that? Well, I know with fire behavior, when something lights off, that's going to be put in 1200 degrees. It can light something else off. Okay, I can combat that with water. Water traveling across the surface, mapping it, cooling it down. I get retraction back. It allows me to get inside with my cool spaceman and outfit and support the search because we know that we don't want burn airways, and it just piles up and you get to have that blast. And I love the light bulbs. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that old school thing of like, why'd you go in there? They told me to.
Yeah.
No, hey, we're doing XYZ. And dude, that is infectious. And then you have the conversations in the firehouse. Like I was talking about earlier, they'd be like, "Oh man, how do you hold a nozzle?" Dude, I've never seen that. What are you doing? I hold it. I got more mechanics this way. Stream staying up. I'm getting more travel down a hallway, more into a compartment. Really? Yeah, man. Hey, that's fucking dumb. All right, man, come over here and show me how to do it. I'm not. Oh, okay. Well, then shut up. Say something nice. And you're just back at where it's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love it, dude. You're absolutely right. And that's the experience I just got when I was teaching the other day, was just that. Like, I could tell they weren't like defeated, but they were just pigeonholed into two positions for flowing and moving. And they weren't even doing it right. And I was like, "Hey, I can show you something else." And they all went, "Yes, please." I was like, "All right, this is going to be fun. Let's have some fun." And so this was just no air, no jackets. Well, actually, they had the jackets on because it's cold as fuck because it's New England. But we're gonna take the bottles off. We're just gonna get technique down, because if you can't do the simple clamp slide, you're gonna need to take the shit off and figure it all out again. And we got to do that. And man, at the end of the day, like, I had students saying, "Do I have to go to the other station? Can I just hang out here and watch more?" I'm like, "I don't care. You can stay in here for all you want, man. This is just fun. That's all we're doing, is having fun. And if you're having fun doing it and being happy, you're going to learn more, and your mind's not closed off. You're energetic, and you're enjoying yourself." And I made sure every time, "Are we having fun? Yeah, this is a blast. I wish I knew this last month." And that's the great part of it. And for me, I only learned half of this stuff that I know because I went outside of my state and I went to different parts of our country to learn, and learn from amazing people who had fun. It wasn't a chore. And I texted, I always feel like I'm name dropping, but I got to give credit where credit is due, is Kevin Pfluger and Tom Hollick and the Cano brothers and Ambassadors of the Craft. And man, like, in Bears of the Oath, like, I would have never learned this stuff if it wasn't for people like that. Like, they really opened my eyes, and I would have not learned these exercises and the whys if it wasn't for them, because it was back in the academy. You have to do it this way. And if you have the why, sometimes they don't know the why because it's in a book, and that's why I have to teach you. And that's hard too with our students, right? When we go through the academy, is I have to teach you that step because you have to get checked off. That's your test. And because I even had students that one student even says, like, "I don't want to learn what you're going to teach me because I don't want to confuse it with what I need to do." I'm like, "No, I totally get you." So that's why I'm like, I want to do it afterwards, because I don't want to confuse you. So we're going to do the textbook, but then we're going to do something really fun. So it's you got to get outside, right? Like, I imagine that's the same thing where you got your information from, is you
Oh,
learned
dude,
it from, right, going from other places.
100, going to other places, meeting guys, and then just be yourself. Like, dude, talk to a guy, like, figure him out. Like, "Hey, man, dude, I loved your stuff. Is there any way I can get your number or something like that?"
Yeah.
Like, I am not ashamed. Like, where I'm at, like, we're not burning down the world. Because if we were, you'd even see a bigger smile. Like, like, we still get our fair amount, but we're not burning down the world. But I have no problem calling somebody. You know what I mean? Like, we've got an old town district, and it's got a flat roof with a cock loft on it. And I'm like, okay, I've done, maybe a handful of these, but let me call brothers and sisters that have done this every day. So I'll hit up a Baltimore City guy and be like, "Hey bro, this is what we ran into. Can you talk to me for a second? What's the worst thing to say to him? Nah, go fuck yourself." Okay,
Yeah.
moving on. Dude, there's somebody that wants to talk about this. I promise you. They want to talk about it, and they want to give you a little bit of information. And dude, all you have to do is listen. Don't be afraid. Be a human being. Like, if everybody was perfect, there wouldn't be a fire service. Nobody would be getting sick. Nobody would be catching their shit on fire.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're human beings too. And we're gonna make sure. And dude, it's a simple phone call. "Hey bro, how do I do this?" Shit, the other day a ratchet strap was kicking my ass, and I had a buddy that rides on a rescue, so I FaceTimed him. And I'm like, "How I make this work?" And he's like, "Oh, bro, here you go." And dude, he was on shift, so he walks out to his rig and he pulls out the same ratchet strap as me. And it was just, we're trying to figure out how to slow release it. And by the way, with Paratech, you got to clutch again, so nobody thinks I'm a complete idiot. We were trying to figure it out. I was like, "Hey, is there a way?" And dude, he literally pulls it off his rig And guess what? Now I got my guys training. They see him out there with the ratchet strap. All his boys are like, "What are you doing?" Now they're out there training, and it's like, "Oh, thanks, brother. I appreciate it." Yeah, man, that was weird. I didn't figure that out. Yeah, I got it too, man. Thank you, man. And now I've just, hey, at least we didn't have that like, I don't know how to fucking do it. Just put it back on the rig. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
dude, it's a simple. It's like, dude, people shit on technology all they want, but it's brought us together.
Hmm.
Like, I can pick the brains of so many people now just by simply pressing a button on my phone and being like, "Hey, what you doing?" You know, like, "You wanna talk about stuff?" Or, "Dude, stop calling me." "Okay, sorry." You know? But it's dude, it's fantastic. And you going back on your thing of like, "Hey, man, I wanna know what's for my test." "Okay, yeah, man, I'll get you to that test." But all that information I gave you backs what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It might be something somebody hasn't seen, and they're like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" "Hey, real quick, let me talk to you, chief. Let me talk to you, instructor, real quick. Hey, these guys understand, the basic components of their nozzles. They understand, they're opening the bail. They're getting 2.5 gallons per second. They understand that, we're traveling the water, coating the surfaces." Uh, oh, okay, all right. Well, did I was like, "Did they maintain control of the nozzle? Did they stay low? Did they have the proper PPE on?" "Yeah, just it's I haven't seen it before." "Okay, man, would you like to have some education? I'm not here to insult, but let me make you a little bit better." "No, I got it, I got it," and if we can explain our why, do we get a whole lot more buyback.
Yep.
You know, sometimes like, you just see something, you're like, the automatic reaction is, "I've never seen that. I'm scared of it." Let's be honest. I'm scared. I've never seen it. Okay, well, let me explain a little bit to you and get a little bit of reassurance, and then let me get you to do it. Shit, that works a whole lot better. Or, hey, man, that completely sucked. I don't want to do that ever again. Cool. Make sure you get another one for the Rolodex.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like that. Another one for Rolodex, a tool for the toolbox. Like yesterday, I said, if you don't want to use this technique, you don't have to. It's, but it's there. So if that plan A is not working, try plan B. And we should always have another step, another plan, because that's not going to work. And it's fun to be able to make them expand their minds of learning that next step. If that's not going to work, try another one. You should always have something in the back of your head, because there's not going to be somebody else who could be right there when she hits the fan and go, "Hey, try this else out." Like, you would need that, and you need that Rolodex, you need that toolbox to be able to pick up that other wrench and go, "Oh, this is going to work. I've tried this before." So that's, I'll be remiss if I also don't give props to Kyle Romagus, because I am wearing his hat. So, that knowledge of nozzle, because literally what you just spoke about, and he talks great detail about it as well. Another person who's just got an amazing amount of history of water knowledge and application. And I did refer to the students to look him up as well. I'm like, look up Kyle Romagus, Smoothbore Cartel. You need to make sure you're listening to him and following his information, because this is a hose advancement class. So please check him out. And that's, I love that we can all share the knowledge together, and it's not competition, it's giving it back. Ben Wilson's got knowledge. I'm going to tell people, look up Ben Wilson. The dude's got knowledge. It's there. And if you want to use it, cool. If you don't, cool. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
I'm just sharing what was shared to me, man. I didn't come
Exactly.
up with this. I've got life experiences on some things and all that stuff, but like a lot of this stuff was just stuff shared with me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, hey, show me that. Let me get my hands on that. Like, I just want to start. I want to share back too. Like, why not enjoy this? Like, hey, man, this is fun. Why aren't you having fun and bring enthusiasm into it? And like, dude, look how cool this is. Like, look what you just did. Like, I'm all about amping up a student. You know what I mean? Like, hose
Yeah.
line wise, like, dude, they see that, and and it's crazy with the fire service now. Like, some people like my generation, we started out, like, we volunteered, and then you got a paid guy's job. Now we're getting people straight off the street, and the only time they've seen a fire engine or a ladder truck or heavy rescue, whatever it may be, is literally standing on the street, being like, "That's pretty neat. I guess I'll go do that."
Yeah.
Like, but now we get that influence on them, and they're like, "Oh man, like, I just saw that. Am I going to be able to do it?" Hell yeah, you're going to be able to do it, because we're going to take the time with you until you get it right. And we're going to have a smile on our face the whole time. And dude, I'm hooping, hollering, like, in a good way. If you get that stretch right, if you get the ladder thrown, door force, whatever we're doing, and I'm hyping you up, dude, that's infectious to the crowd. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's just going to build your confidence. and build, that stability like I was talking about earlier. You're going to look forward to coming to the academy or coming to work every day because you're like, dude, I am getting that much better. And
I
then
love
what warms my heart is I see that same guy and he turns to the next guy behind him. He's like, hey man, try this, try this, try that. I'm like, ooh, we
it.
got it going, baby. And dude, that's just that magnet of people coming around. And dude, it's just happiness, smiles. Yeah, we get our, asses kicked every now and then. Maybe a nozzle gets away from each other. Yeah. You don't think I've never lost a nozzle? You don't think I've ever fucking, blasted myself in the chin with a straight stream just because I'm whipping it around like an asshole and I didn't know what I was doing?
Yeah.
I'm a human being, like I said earlier. You are too. Let's learn from it and let's move on.
Yeah. No
It's
one's
in the
perfect.
past. We're going to make it better. What are you going to be like on your next fire? Is that's all I care about. And what's your attitude towards that next fire?
Love it, man. I love your energy, bro. Thank you so much, man. This has been a great conversation, a great episode for sure. A patch full of knowledge about who Ben Wilson is, what he's doing. So if anybody's interested, make sure you are going on Instagram. Check out F.D.I.R. A lot of great videos on there of just literally just helping to get more information out there. Basic knowledge, but it's broken down in the most simplest and quick ways to watch it. So please do yourself a favor, check out what Ben's doing. He's doing a fantastic job. And besides the Key City Fire conferences, anywhere else anybody can find you, Ben?
So I do a lot of stuff, help out a lot of guys, fantastic guys, from Virginia, Forest, Virginia. Great dudes. We just got done with their truck school. They'll have forest training days, and forest is their geographical area. Please don't think that you're going to come do a bunch of fucking aggressive gardening. Outside fires are icky to me. If you want to rake very angrily, you can go do that in the flower bed. But they do a bunch of hands-on training. Great dudes. So we got that coming up, and then Smithfield Truck School, which is located right outside of Virginia Beach. I'll be down at that. That's in March. Once again, bunch of fantastic dudes from all over the area, just throwing down, having good vibes. Just search. It's truck school, so search vent, C.A.N, you name it, you got it. And I mean, just great place. And then of course, like wherever hits me up, man. I'm also, like I said, I'm a student, and even if you are like, like, man, I've gone to tons of classes. Yeah, I've gone to tons of classes too, and it might be the same stuff, but it's reinforcement of stuff. So you might see me standing next to you as a student because I'm
Yeah,
just like, dude, this is awesome. Like this reassures me that I'm doing the right thing, and now I get to do it. So
love
it's
it.
fantastic, man. If you see a class, take it. Who knows? I might be there, and then like I bounce all over the place, man. I'm just very fortunate. I'm telling you, if you love the fire service, it will definitely pay you back. And just the dedication you put in definitely tenfold back, and it's the best job in the world. If you don't realize it, just hopefully you can just take a second and realize how good we have it and how fucking cool it is. I mean, I don't know, but love it every second of it, and I can't say thank you guys enough.
Dude, I love it. Absolutely. So you can check out Ben Wilson at the Key City Fire Conference. That's going to be next year in March. Registration is open. March 18th through the 21st, 18th and the 19th is lectures, and then the 20th and the 21st is hot classes. There's going to be a great amount of knowledge at the conference, so please check that out. Go on their website. Everything is available. Please, by all means, do yourself a favor. Get to these conferences. Also, March Mayhem. I highly encourage anybody who's looking for that. If you're in the West Coast area, if you want to fly to West Coast, go to Idaho and check out the ambassadors of the craft. They're going to be there. You got Dad Gum's going to be there. Rob Ramirez is going to be there. I mean, there's a plethora of people that's going to be there, and I'm going to be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to that. So March Mayhem, that's in the beginning of March, and then you can fly over to Key City in Frederick, Maryland, and check out Ben Wilson and check out his lecture about being happy. Because that's what we want to be. We want to be happy, right? So, man, I really appreciate you, Ben. This has been an absolute pleasure. So I love to end it with my saying of Nozzle Top. I want you to say it with me, Ben. So when you're ready, you all stay safe, be well, and Nozzle Top. I appreciate so much, Ben. This has been a blast. Y'all take care. Thanks for watching. Thank you all for tuning in to the C.A.N Report. Before we wrap up, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Engine House Designs. They're a firefighter-owned, family-operated business that's been repping the fire service since 2021. Engine House Designs specializes in custom firefighter apparel, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, plus decals, flags, and patches. Whether you're looking for a single shirt or outfitting your whole department, they've got you covered with bulk pricing and top-tier quality. Their mission? Simple. To ignite the pride in firefighters across the country. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, or visit enginehousedesigns.com. Engine House Designs. Ignite the pride.